It's horror medication time, and this story is called Actor. Bleeding welcome. It's your horror medication time. Are you ready for a slice of the old horror nori? It was his first audition for 13 years. The lure of a regular wage moulded him into a suit-wearing, nodding puppet. Wearing a suit made him uncomfortable, especially travelling into town in the soaring heat. He could not understand why the shirt and tie design of the suit still remained unchanged and continued to be the uniform of business. He was unemployable due to his lack of energy about anything else unless it was for the benefit of himself. 3 lines in a popular television show. He was furious that the casting director did not use common sense and watched his show reel online. Such a small part didn't warrant all this travelling effort, just to justify the casting director's fees. So here he was, he had to travel just to recite the lines to camera. What a waste of time. But then again, hey, no one else was knocking on his door. On the way to his audition, the rhythm of the train encouraged sleep. He watched the clown walking onto the train from a deserted platform. He was mesmerised by my image and continued to watch as I sat down next to an old gentleman. He couldn't hear what I was saying. All he could see was the elderly man shaking his head left to right, obviously expressing no. I glided closer to a woman 13 feet away from the actor. He managed to hear this time. You like horror? Horror without the bullshit? The woman said yes. Why, I asked. She responded, it makes my heart beat faster. But you haven't got a heart. The woman looked down and noticed the large hole in her chest. Here it is. Then I gave her a spare heart that I happened to have with me. The actor guessed right that I was working my way towards him. Do you like horror without the bullshit? The actor noticed he was shaking. No, it's not for me. I said, why? I don't think I'm going to live to an old age. I don't know why. That's all the horror I can tolerate, the knowledge of my early death. Then I said to the actor, you are very transparent today. I have watched you inflict punches, spit on and display anger towards your partners behind those closed doors. You see, you feed off of control to those that you have sexual relationships with. The tannoy announcement kicked in and the train happened to arrive at the correct station. The actor looked around. I had gone. Was it real, or did his imagination kick in when his eyes closed? Whatever the truth, the actor developed cold sweat and was freaked out. He was always punctual, a little habit he picked up from his mother, his father's punch bag for 13 years. He pressed the bronze doorbell, the large door buzzed open and he walked up the red carpeted stairs. He expected to see other actors when he got to the waiting room. In fact, no one else was there. A young girl in her late 20s appeared and asked the actor to come through. He followed her into a large white office. The actor presumed the young girl is the casting director. After the boring, what have you been up to lately's and observation about the weather, it was time for the actor to recite his 3 lines to camera, which was positioned at eye level. He noticed the pretty casting director was going through the motions and seemed uninterested in the actor. She came across like a person who's not comfortable in their own skin. The actor presumed correct and was subsequently proven to be correct when the pretty girl pulled her skin off, revealing herself to be me. The actor stumbled backwards, looking for several secret cameras, hoping for this unfamiliar journey would be nothing more than a new prank TV show. He tried to open the white door, it was locked tight. He opened the blinds, expected the heat of the sun and a view of the city. No sun, just 3 studio lights and a black painted brick wall. And yours truly. The actor was shaking again. His erratic behaviour was similar to that of a trapped bee in an empty jar. A large television screen on one of the white walls sparked on. Film began. He stopped moving suddenly because he immediately recognised the kind face on screen. It was his ex-girlfriend. She spoke to camera. "You made sure my bruising would not be noticed under my hair. Your intimidation, regular outbursts of violence towards me destroyed my confidence. I should have listened to my close friends and family. I thought we were together forever and that my role was to change you from a coward into a kind man. I failed, though not through lack of effort. I paid the price with broken ribs and a fractured skull. I contacted Bleeding Critic as I needed professional help. I deserved that you had no human rights or fractured judgment from strangers. I needed to be the only judge, jury and sentence decision maker." The actor screamed as the baseball bat bashed his right leg. He looked around to see me carrying a bat. It wasn't a bat I used, but an electronic dog collar on setting 3. It was a zap that sent him crashing to the floor. The actor returned to the screen on the wall. The image of his ex was still there, as if witnessing the unfolding, uncomfortable drama. The ex-girlfriend continued. "This is your punishment." Then the screen changed to that of inside of a pristine warehouse. It didn't take long for the actor to recognise that this venue on screen was an abattoir. The screeching large bull was herded by one man dressed in an army-like uniform and moved the beast into a large metal box. And then I appeared on screen with my captive bolt gun. I moved over to the large claustrophobic box and I pressed a button on the side, and 2 small like elevator doors secured the bull's large head. I pulled the trigger, compressed air snap, and the steel bolt splitted the animal's skull. Loud body thud to the ground. The ex-girlfriend's head reappeared. "This process is too quick for the guilty," she said. "For all the harm you've done to me over the 3 years of our relationship, and for the other victims of your domestic abuse, a more appropriate and slower process will take place now." Being such a coward, the actor was frozen, sitting on the ground. Tears of being caught streamed down his face. I moved him against the wall to where the matching white wooden crucifix, which was only noticed once you were standing close to it. After a quick headbutt, he was out, just long enough for me to rope him in position. He woke up drowsy, upside down. I opened the plastic container and gently poured the acid onto the soles of his feet. That woke him up. The drips cascaded down, damaging the corneas of his eyes. Blindness will follow within 8 minutes. I had to exercise caution with this particular acid. I used a suitable funnel to ensure the actor ingested 1 gulp of the acid. I had to be careful of the amount to avoid the chance of cardiac arrest. The 13 galvanised large nails were quickly placed and hammered, 3 nails to each arm and foot, and 1 more left on the floor for dramatic effects. Plus 13 is my lucky number. Picture this postcard. the final episode of this woman beater's life, crucified upside down, hanging by a rope and 12 nails. The nails hammered in his limbs, the blood splattered on white walls was a near perfect bleeding sight, and I carefully administered hydrofluoric acid, dissolving skin, flesh, and eventually bone. After my bleeding work, I went out to get somebody, and a drink after my thirsty bleeding work. On my return 2 hours later, with our new guest, the actor was blind and slowly burning, dissolving, almost dead and very messy. Take a few moments to imagine his pain, especially when I wheeled in his mother. Once I helped her place her glasses on, she saw her upside down son crucified. She screamed, but due to her old age it wasn't very loud. The actor's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, was very pleased to have contacted me. Another satisfied customer. Let me know if you need bleeding justice. I'm Bleeding Critic, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and tell everyone you know there's a new prophet of horror on the block. I'll see you soon. Sleep well.